Let me ask you something. How many times did we said this sentence? This time Indian football will change. Whether it's a new league, new coach, or new system, it doesn't matter. And yet here we are again in the same situation. I don't want to blame a single player, a single coach, or a single match. Today I want to talk about the reality of Indian football. Whether we can make a comeback, or what went wrong, or whether there is still hope. So to begin with, let's talk about our national team. So on paper, we are a strong side, and we should qualify for tournaments, at least the Asian tournaments, for all the age groups, for men's and women's both. Forget about the World Cup. But whenever we face a strong Asian side, the difference is painful. We don't just lose matches, we lose our control, our confidence. Forget about identity. Some games we sit deep, some games we play a position-based football, and sometimes we just look confused. We don't know what our real identity is, what our real philosophy is. That's the main problem. That's where we lack. The national team should reflect a philosophy, but the Indian national team, we change our style faster than a formation. This tells you one thing: there is no long-term football vision. If we talk about the Indian Super League, we have to give the credit where it's due. Indian Super League definitely helped the Indian football in terms of marketing, broadcasting, and even the fan experience. But what about, it's still a closed league. There's no promotion, no relegation. Even though by providing this platform to the Indian players, even the fan experience, if you see the stadiums and everything, even the broadcasting and marketing, it's top notch. But what's the point if it's still a closed league, no promotion, no relegation? So what's the point of developing young Indian players? Because there's no instinct for survival. Most of the key positions in the ISA club are played by the foreigners. Maybe it's the strikers, fullbacks, even the playmakers. Mostly our Indian players will be playing as a wing back or as a winger. It doesn't help Indian football, and in which we can see the national team suffers at the end. So it's a big question whether ISL definitely helped in terms of marketing and everything, but what about the overall development of Indian football? Did it make a big impact? I don't think so. What do you think? Now if we move on to something bigger, which is the Indian football pyramid. If you start with a successful football nation has a strong pyramid, starting with grassroots, state leagues, third division, top division, and then the national team. In India, the pyramid is broken. I-League has lost its importance. The state leagues doesn't get any visibility. Scouting is inconsistent. The talented kid in a small city might never be seen. And by the time a player reaches at the top level, he might be too old enough to represent or to play internationally or represent a national team. So in a world of football where a talent peaks early, in India, the talents arrive late or not at all. And the most painful part is the grassroots system. India does not lack any talent. It just lacks the opportunity and the protection. Grassroots are expensive. Most of the academies charge to train the children. Parents hesitate because there is a lack of clarity in the future in football. In India, youth tournaments are very short. So there are many points that I can come upon, like the limited facilities. There is a lack. The quality coaches are very rare. Most of the football players, quit at the age of 16 or 17, not because they are bad, but there is no security given to them by the system. So football should be a pathway, but in India it's just a gamble. We cannot avoid this topic. The AIFF has struggled with leadership instability, lack of transparency, and long-term planning. Their decision mostly feels like reactive than proactive. The plans exist on paper but not on ground. Football cannot grow when the administrative moves slower than the game. Now let's talk about coaching. We expect world-class players, but we don't produce world-class coaches. In most of the youth setup, if you see, the coaches are underpaid and overworked. They lack continuous education. The continuous education is missing. Most of the tactics, game intelligence are taught to the players by the age of 8 in the top European nation or top footballing nations. But in India, most of the tactic, game intelligence are taught to players at the age of 18 or 20. By that time, it's already too late. And here's an uncomfortable truth. The Indian football suffers with a fear mentality. Don't lose. Don't make any mistakes. Don't take any risk. But football is all about a courage. For example, if you see Korea and Japan, most of the kids play football on the streets, schools, and everywhere. But in India, the access is limited. Apart from a few states which I can name, which comes at the top of my mind right now, like so Goa, Kolkata, which is the Bengal, and even Kerala. I think apart from these states, the football is I don't think is a very much acceptable or like a community-based sport played by kids. Apart from that, until football becomes a culture, it will just be a temporary. So in the end, is Indian football dead? In my opinion, no, but it's definitely is deeply injured. There is definitely a hope for change because there's better exposure, need for change definitely, but Indian football does not need any slogans. It needs a structure, patience, and honesty. So I'll just end it with this one question. Is Indian football failing because of the lack of talent or because of a failed system? Please leave your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll see you in the next one.